A traveling tradesman spots a noble lady sitting on a bench, happily munching on a sandwich that looks mouth-wateringly good. Tempted, he asks if he can try some. The lady, generous as ever, doesn't just share, she whips one up for him from her picnic basket. He takes a bite and is instantly amazed. Delicious, so he asks her for the recipe. Big mistake. She casually tells him it's made with blackhorn wolf meat. Cue the tradesman gagging, excusing himself, and vomiting into the nearest tree. Because really, who expects monster meat in their lunch? Blackhorns are infamous for their poisonous flesh. To him, this woman is insane. But she's not crazy, just dedicated. She worked hard to process the meat so it's safe. The real problem? No one is brave enough to give her monster cuisine a fair shot. A few days later, the noble Lady Mel is at a grand banquet, where the tables are stacked with every kind of meat dish imaginable. She's in foodie heaven until her stepmom's friend, Mrs. Talbot, reminds her she's not here to eat, she's here to hunt for a different kind of meat, a husband. Mel doesn't even want to be there, but her stepmom threatened to lock her away in a monastery if she doesn't get engaged soon. The problem? Every noble knows her reputation as the monster meat girl, and nobody wants to get close. So she drifts toward the knights, hoping to find someone new who hasn't heard the rumors. But before she can, chaos erupts, monsters crash the banquet. Nobles panic, knights rush to fight, and Mel runs with the crowd, until she notices an elderly couple struggling. Mel helps them, only to find herself face to face with a blackhorn. She could run, but then the old couple would be toast. So she shouts to grab the monster's attention and lures it away. Just as she braces for the worst, a knight swoops in and slices the beast's head clean off. This is Roger Galbraith, the infamous blood-mad duke, a man both feared and gossiped about endlessly. Mel is starstruck. Forget the scary rumors, this guy is hot. She introduces herself, surprising Roger, since most women would have bolted. Then she freaks out seeing monster blood drip toward his mouth, warning him not to ingest it. Roger is startled. Most nobles know nothing about monsters, but Mel is rattling off survival tips like an expert. She realizes she may have scared him with her weirdness, but instead of being put off, Roger respects her knowledge. When she blurts out that she butchers monsters herself, Roger laughs. He's heard the rumors, but never thought they were true. Mel admits it outright, yes, she eats monsters, and honestly, that corpse on the ground just makes her wonder how tasty the meat would be. She expects him to walk away. Instead, Roger finds himself charmed by her smile, even with blood splattered on her dress. He takes her hand and leads her from the party. To break the silence, he asks the forbidden question: does monster meat actually taste good? Most people mock her answer, but Roger listens seriously as Mel explains that blackhorn meat tastes a lot like beef. The trick is draining out the magical energy during preparation. Roger is intrigued and even asks if she'll cook some for him. Mel agrees, but warns him. Meat from mad beasts like the one today is rough on the stomach. If he really wants the full experience, he'll have to wait until she gets her hands on a non-corrupted cut. Roger says he's looking forward to tasting Mel's cooking. But first things first, he insists she needs a clean dress. So, he brings her back to his tent pavilion. His right-hand man, Chaos, greets him at the entrance. After Mel politely introduces herself, Roger orders Chaos to fetch her a new dress. Meanwhile, Roger sets up a small bath of hot water so Mel can wash the monster blood off her face. Mel protests, why is he going to all this trouble for her? Especially when he's the one drenched in blood. She tells him to clean himself first, which, as it turns out, was exactly his plan. Without hesitation, Roger starts peeling off his shirt. For him, it's no big deal. For Mel, instant heart rate spike. Sure, she's seen knights train shirtless before, but this is different. This is Roger. When he notices her staring, he asks if something's wrong. Flustered, Mel admits the truth. She was admiring his very impressive muscles. Roger shrugs it off. He trains to fight monsters, so a strong body just comes with the job. Changing the subject, Mel blurts out that she thought he looked insanely cool beheading the Blackhorn. She even asks if he could teach her how to do it. Roger chuckles. Technically, anyone can learn, but with her untrained arms, it'd be better to leave the fighting to him. Instead, he asks if there's a particular monster she's always wanted to try eating. Mel's eyes instantly sparkle. Her wish list is endless. Just then, Chaos returns and scolds Roger for standing half-naked in front of a lady. Eventually, Mel changes into the dress Chaos picked, and she absolutely loves it. Roger casually mentions he borrowed it from the queen herself, and it looks fantastic on her. The whole time, Roger is holding the severed head of the Blackhorn like it's a grocery bag. Any normal woman would faint at the sight, but Mel doesn't bat an eye. Roger's men are shocked and thrilled. Finally, their duke has found a woman who actually gets along with him. That evening, it's time for Mel to go home. Roger escorts her to her carriage, where she thanks him again for saving her life. He promises her a special present next time they meet. Mel, being Mel, requests that if the present is a monster, he should capture it alive because the meat tastes fresher that way. Roger admits he's never caught one alive before, but he's willing to give it a shot. Until then, Mel pulls out some homemade monster jerky. She promises she prepped it carefully, so there's zero chance of food poisoning. Roger doesn't hesitate if it's from her. He trusts it. He takes a bite and is surprised by how good it tastes. Chaos panics, scolding Roger for eating untested food. Roger tells Mel he's excited to see what else she can cook up. And that's when she lowers her head, tears welling up. For the first time ever, someone actually respects her strange hobby instead of calling her a freak. She wipes her eyes, pulls herself together, and says goodbye to Roger. Deep down, though, she's already counting the days until they meet again. It takes a few days for Mel's carriage to reach home, and by the time she arrives, snow is already falling. As she looks out the window, she spots her father waiting at the gate, which is strange enough to make her nervous. When she steps down, he rushes to open the door for her, looking like he's seen a ghost. Mel immediately asks if something's wrong. At first, she assumes he's upset because she didn't manage to get engaged at the banquet, but he quickly clarifies that's not the issue. Apparently, someone has asked for her hand in marriage, and not just anyone, Duke Roger Galbraith himself. Her father waves a jewel-encrusted letter in the air like it's a live bomb. He's panicking because, as he reminds her, he's just a count. "How am I supposed to handle this?" he groans. Mel is equally stunned. Sure, she and Roger got along at the banquet, but she didn't think he'd jump straight to marriage proposals. Meanwhile, on Roger's side of things, he reports back to Crown Prince Maxim, who also happens to be his older brother. Roger gives a neat, formal report about how his men cleared out the monster dens and secured the area. Maxim thanks him, but then sighs, telling Roger to drop the stiff language. "You're my brother, not my butler." Roger, of course, refuses. "You're the crown prince, I'm your subject." End of story. Maxim rolls his eyes. This guy takes formalities way too seriously. Then Maxim grins and brings up that date Roger had with a certain red-haired girl. Roger freezes. How does his brother even know that? Maxim smirks. "I know everything my little brother does." As they talk, Maxim casually steals a piece of jerky from Roger's picnic basket, the one Mel gave him, and takes a bite. "This is amazing. What kind of meat is this?" Roger sighs. "It's from a scat." Maxim nearly chokes, realizing he's eating monster meat and loves it. He asks if Mel made it herself, clearly intrigued. After the teasing dies down, Maxim turns serious and asks what Roger plans to do about Mel. "It's rare for a count's daughter to catch a duke's eye," he notes. "You sure about this?" Roger brushes him off and leaves, annoyed, but he can't deny that Maxim has a point. Mel is brave, kind, and genuinely interested in him. So, he decides to keep his promise and capture the monster she wanted as a surprise gift. Back at home, Mel and her father stare at Roger's fancy letter, covered in jewels. Her father explains a messenger actually flew in on a Blaze Eagle to deliver it, and Mel's biggest regret is that she missed seeing the bird. When her father asks what happened between her and the Duke, Mel insists nothing major. Roger just saved her from a monster. Her father isn't convinced. You mean to tell me you meet him once, and now he wants to marry you? Mel reads through the letter, which describes how much Roger enjoyed their time together. It seems heartfelt, but she can't help wondering if there's another reason behind it. Her father reassures her that she doesn't have to accept, though turning down a duke will require one very good excuse. That night, while rereading the letter, Mel notices something strange, a faint magical glow. Hidden words appear. Roger plans to visit tomorrow. Cue panic. Her father practically faints from anxiety, and Mel's heart skips a beat. She didn't expect to see him again this soon. The next morning, her stepmother Celia storms in, horrified that Mel is still in her nightgown. Mel lies and says she's waiting for her maid to help her pick an outfit. Truth is, she just woke up. Celia isn't cruel, but she loves criticizing everything Mel does. Of all men, why choose the blood-mad Duke? She sighs dramatically. Mel tunes her out until a massive roar shakes the house. She rushes to the window and sees a flock of glacial dragons in the sky. She immediately recognizes Roger's dragon, and sure enough, he flies right up to her window, casually announcing, "I've come to ask for your hand in marriage." Celia nearly faints, screaming for Mel to close the window. Mel, blushing furiously, tells Roger to land by the northern pasture before hiding behind her curtains, heart racing. Seeing him ride in on a dragon was, well, a little too impressive. Celia huffs off, calling Roger insane and unfit for nobility. Mel finally snaps and tells her to stop insulting her future husband. Celia storms out, offended. Later, Mel meets Roger outside, apologizing for not preparing anything since she only learned he'd be visiting yesterday. Roger, ever calm, says he's the one who should apologize for showing up unannounced. Chaos teases that Roger just couldn't wait to see her again, which earns him a glare. Roger then gestures toward a covered cage. "I brought your gift." Mel's eyes light up. He actually caught the monster she wanted. She feels a little guilty for making him go through all that trouble, but Roger doesn't mind. When she asks to peek inside, he lifts the cloth to reveal a golden-furred royal moodle alive, just unconscious. Mel gasps. Royal moodles are rare monsters with golden fur worth a fortune, though most people toss the meat away. Mel, of course, finds that wasteful. To her, this isn't just a gift, it's proof that Roger really gets her. Mel has never tasted moodle meat before, but since the creature only eats fruits and mushrooms, she's pretty sure it'll be delicious. Still, a golden-furred one like this is rare, and she can't help but ask Roger if he's really okay giving her something so valuable. Roger smiles and says, "Why would I go through all that trouble catching it alive if I wasn't going to give it to you?" That's all Mel needs to hear. She's thrilled. Now she can cook it however she likes. Her joy is so genuine that even Roger, the usually stoic Duke, turns red in the face while Chaos and the others quietly step aside to give him his moment. A little while later, Mel's father shows up to greet Roger properly and thank him for the long trip. Roger apologizes for arriving so suddenly, explaining that he wanted an answer to his proposal before winter fully set in. That's when Mel realizes, oh right, this is also a marriage visit, not just a monster delivery. Trying to stay calm, she asks her father if Roger's dragons can hunt in the nearby mountains. He agrees but raises an eyebrow at the caged moodle. Isn't that supposed to be dragon food? Mel quickly corrects him. Actually, it's for me. Her father blinks in surprise. You mean he knows about your cooking hobby? Mel nods proudly. He even said he wanted to try it. She then asks for permission to open a research lab so she can prepare the moodle meat properly. Her father hesitates, worried Roger might be horrified once he sees his daughter chopping up monsters. But Roger speaks up before he can object. He already knows about the rumors surrounding Mel's unusual hobby, and he doesn't mind at all. In fact, he respects her for it. That's all her father needs to hear. He's overjoyed and tells Roger to make himself at home. But Roger insists on taking care of the moodle first since it's still alive, which shocks her father even more. Mel quickly explains that she was the one who asked for it alive. Roger then says he'd like to watch how she prepares it. Her father agrees and tells Mel to show him to her research facility. The two take off on dragons, which is a dream come true for Mel. When the facility comes into view, she points it out, but her voice wavers a little. Roger notices and asks if something's wrong. Mel brushes it off, saying she's just nervous about her first dragon ride. But that's not really it. She's worried. Roger says he accepts her for who she is, but once he sees her actually preparing monster meat, will he still feel the same way? And with that, the episode ends. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.